Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today's video, as you saw in the title, is about knives that you can get for $10 or less. That's US dollars. And by the way, there's a good reason I do US dollars even though this is Canadian Cutting Edge, and that's because there's less than a quarter of my viewers are from Canada. A good 50% of my viewers are from the United States of America. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys are awesome. Our friendly neighbors to the south. And then the rest of my viewers are all around the world. I've got almost as many viewers in the UK that I've got in Canada. So yeah, our cousins in the United Kingdom, in England and in Ireland and Scotland and all over the place. You guys are awesome. If I missed one of you guys, I know I did. I missed the Isle of Man. Yeah, I missed that. Well, I got you now, but from all over the place, you guys are awesome. And then I've got viewers in places like Finland. You guys are awesome. Various countries in Africa. Africa's not a country, by the way. I'm not smart because I am a Canadian after all. All over the place. South America, Asia, all over the place. And you guys love watching my channel. And the thing is, most people around the world who pay attention to buying knives on the internet understand the value of their currency as compared to the United States dollar. They don't necessarily know the value of their currency as, compared to the Canadian dollar. So I always say US dollars. And most of my video, like at least half of these knives are from Sanrenmu. They just have to be at that price range. And so a lot of them are knives that are around 2.5 inches. Some of them are longer. There's one that's quite a bit longer. It's just that there's very few knives in the market that are half decent, that are longer than, that 2.5 inch kind of mark. There's just very few of them. And that's why I have that limitation. I'll let you see this sucker. This is only an honorable mention because this is one of my favorite little knives. The action on this thing is so smooth. I'm talking about locking knives. This has got a liner lock in it. This is the Sanrenmu 7076 Windrunner design. It's just an awesome knife, but it's a little over $10. I think it's $10.81 right now. It's the cheapest I could find. And I really, really enjoy this knife. So this won't be on the list, but I just put it on the list because I told you what it was. So I've got, I think, a dozen knives that I want to let you know about. And then I've got 3 little keychain knives that lock. I think next week, Tuesday, I'm calling this Terrific Tuesday, $10 Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. Next Tuesday, I'm going to do slip joints, non-locking knives that I can find under $10 and less. And if I can find enough fixed blade knives, then the following week, I think that's going to be the first week in February, is going to be fixed blade knives for the lowest price that we can find. So guys, please, down in the comment section below, leave a comment with a knife that you think is an awesome knife that is around that price range. And if you can really do me a favor and find it somewhere online for $10 US or less, put the link in there. YouTube won't automatically post it up, but I get notified of it, and then I can say yes to that link, yes to that comment being activated. So I will see it, and I will make it public, as long as it's a decent comment, as in, not full of swearing and, stuff like that. Your normal comments. If you put a link in it, I can make it live, so do that for me, will you? So without further ado, I'm going to go to the tabletop mode, and I don't have most of these knives anymore because, of course, when I did my sales, these are the knives that sold because they're the best ones. But I do have some of them, and then I've got pictures to show you and things, and I'll have links down below in the description. Some guys have a tough time finding the description area. If you're watching on a computer, then just above the first comment, you'll see the words "Show More" in light gray letters. You click on that, and it actually opens up that whole section of text that's below the video and above the comments where all the links and everything are. And if you're watching on a cell phone, then down below this corner over here, there is a little black triangle. At least it used to be a little black triangle that you click on, and that expands it all. So that's where the description is for, and most YouTubers, maybe not all, most reviewers, but most YouTubers leave some information down in the description area. So that's for you. Wow, it's 5 minutes in already to this video. Let's get to these knives. Now, these are in no particular order. You recognize this knife. This is the Sanrenmu 7010, and this is a special edition one, or not a special edition one. This is one, the LUC-SD. You can't get this one hardly anymore. There's only a few of the models, a couple of the black models, the one with the flower. But there are a few models that are under $10 still of this knife that you can get. And I've got them linked below. So the Sanrenmu 7010, very popular locking knife that I think everybody should consider. And you can get it under $10. They're getting really hard to get. I think most of them have been discontinued. I don't know if Sanrenmu is going to make them again. They've got them in 3 sizes now. They've got a 7,000 series, they've got the 8,000 series, and they've got the 9,000 series. The 8,000 series is very hardly known, but I've reviewed those a few months ago. So in bigger sizes. So definitely consider the Sanrenmu 7010. The next knife, I sold mine, all of them. The Enlan L05. Now, this is the L04, so it's somewhat similar to that knife, except for that one's, why this one I didn't choose, because this one just doesn't work very well. But the L05, I've had 2 of them. You can get them in the wood handle scales or in G10. The wood ones are real easy to find, L05-1. So you've got a long, flat, high flat, or full flat blade. It's just a really, really nice knife, and I get great action out of it, and I just love the L05. Now, these aren't in any order of me saying one's better than another, so just so that you know, there you go. And, here's another picture of the L05 and what it looks like. This is the other side, the working side. It's a really nice knife, and it does have a lanyard hole. Another knife that is under $10 that you can get it just under $10. You can get the Cold Steel Kudu. Now, I reviewed this guy a while ago. This one, a lot of people really dislike it, but it's a locking knife, and you got to pull back on that thing to get it to close. Great big long blade, 4116 cold stainless steel, really high corrosion resistance. If you want a big knife for under $10 that locks, you can definitely consider this guy. So you can find the Cold Steel Kudu review. The thumbnail looks like that, except for it's in color. Another knife that I like that I've sold all of mine of is the Sanrenmu 7007. And it's roughly the same size as these. It's a little bit bigger than the 7010, but a little bit smaller than the Enlan here. So it's between these 2 sizes. I know it's kind of dark on here. It's hard to see everything. So the 7007 is a good knife. It's a hollow grind. Beautiful, beautiful knife if you're looking for something small. Here's another picture of it. And it also comes with a partly serrated blade. Yeah, that's roughly what you're getting. G10, and it is a tip-down pocket clip. I don't mind tip-down pocket clips at all, so, the famous 7010 is a tip-down pocket clip. I just love them. They just work really, really well. Now, here's a knife that I've never had in my hand. Well, I've had in my hand. I've never owned it. It's a Schrade, and I've only got a black laser printer, so the printout doesn't come out that great. This one's a little bit better, I think, on the printout. There's a little bit of a textured section back in here. But this is 9CR18 MOV steel, and it's a nice hollow grind blade. It's a larger blade. It's around 3 inches. I forget the exact measurement, but when you look it up on the website from the link at the store, you'll see all the specific specs. But, it's got nice jimping on the back. It's a liner lock, thumb stud knife, and 9CR18, you just can't go wrong. And Schrade's got a lot of folding knives that are at a little price. Some of them just aren't that great, but some of them are actually okay. And this one is definitely worth under $10. Now, did you know that you can get an OPINEL? not the number 7, the number 5 and smaller I found of the OPINEL for less than $10. So I've got some links down below. And that's what an OPINEL looks like. The number 5 is 2.4 inches of blade. The number 7's a little bit longer. This is a little over, just over 3 inches, I think, if I remember correctly. But the OPINEL is a great knife. If you don't have any OPINEL knives at all, you should consider getting one just so that you get exposed to some of the really, some of the ethnic kind of knives out there. And there's a number of good ethnic knives that are at a low, at a budget price. And this, you can get it in, I think it's the 12C27 is the steel that they use. Why do I not remember exactly? Why am I doubting myself? I don't know. But you can also get it in a carbon steel blade, you know, beech wood handle, and this locking system works very, very well. And we keep these. We've got a couple of these, and we keep them in our camp cooking stuff. So there's that. Let me put that aside. Where did I put it? Where did I put? There you go. The Ganzo. The Ganzo, this guy's discontinued. It's harder and harder to find. You can get the black one at GearBest. All the different colors are gone. There was a blue and a pink and an orange, and those are all gone. This is the F759M, and it's under 3 inches, at least the cutting edge is. It's right around 3 inches from tip to the handle. Very, very close. Backlock knife. You got a 4-way pocket clip. You can put it whatever way you want. FRN handle. 440C stainless steel blade. This is a very, very good little knife. And if you can get it for under $10, and you can, there's no reason not to. Very, very nice knife under $10. What else do we have? Well, we've got this knife. We've got the Sanrenmu 783. And I've got a couple of them, actually. This is one in black. Again, it's got a tip-down pocket clip. It's got a coated blade, 8CR13 MOV steel, backlock. And the backlock is the spring back here, and you push it down right there. So if we get the black out of the way there, so it pushes down right there. And you've got a lanyard hole here, or you can use the pocket clip. And it's just a full flat grind. Good knife to keep in your glove box or whatever if you want a locking blade, and very, very functional. So that is the 783. Now there's another one here. This is the 604 or 6044 by Sanrenmu. And I've had a couple of these, and I keep giving them away or selling them, and I shouldn't be doing that anymore because they're getting very hard to get. Handle scales that you can generally get these days are green or red, but there are black out there in some places. So we've got a Tanto blade, you've got a forward choil for your finger, and then your next finger. So it's a small knife. It's smaller than this guy, quite a bit smaller, not quite a bit, but the blade's about the same, but the handle's smaller because the handle has your front finger up here. And so it's like, if I cut off where my thumb is, it's more like that kind of size. And really, really good choice if you like Tanto blades. And nice, small, light knife, and works very, very well. This knife is awesome. This is the very first knife I reviewed, and I no longer have it, and I'm kicking myself. You can see in this picture that these two look different than these two. They've got axis lock versions, and they've got liner lock versions. The axis lock versions, you can't find them for under $10, but the liner locks you can. You can get this knife for under $10. Here's another larger picture of it. Aluminum handle scales with steel liners. And then it's got all this little texture in there, so it's very comfortable in hand. When the knife blade is closed, you can actually use a little bit of an opening right there, use it as a bottle opener. So you've got a knife and a makeshift bottle opener all at the same time. And you could check out my video on that. Another knife that I really like from Sanrenmu, and this is the last of my dozen, sort of bigger ones. It's not really big, but there's this guy. Now you can get it in, I think it's a fake bone, kind of jigged bone or wooden handle. And then steel bolster right here. It's a full flat grind knife, and it's a beautiful backlock knife again from Sanrenmu, the HT785. Now, some of you guys also are thinking about, and I wanted to let you know about keychain knives, and that's especially really small because you want something light and small in your keychain. And I'm thinking about locking ones. You've got the 4058, and I still have one of them. There's this guy. He's a backlock knife. They come in different kind of colors in the liner. It's a harpoon style full flat grind. And, it's a beautiful, tiny little, well, not tiny, but it's a small knife that locks, that's got a nice light blade, and it's just super easy to use, very comfortable in hand, and doesn't cost very much. Just a beautiful little knife that locks, that's really easy to carry around. And then there's this knife. This one is the 4060. It's just over $10, but I'm putting it in place here of the 6040. Yeah, now don't get confused. I tend to get confused with the 6040 and the 4060 all the time. Now, the 6040 is very much the same size. It's also a backlock. It's also got the it's got a similar kind of blade, but it's not a harpoon blade. And that's a really nice knife. And if you want to spend a little bit more, you can get the 4060. Both are really good choices, both backlock knives that I really, really enjoy. It's got the thumb studs on there, and it really looks like, if you just saw a picture of it, it could be a huge knife, but it's just a nice little Sanrenmu that you can hang on your keychain. Hardly weighs anything. And lastly is this knife. This is the 4025 by Sanrenmu, and it comes two ways. You can get a drop point blade or this Bowie style blade. It's got a little bit of an ant kind of a motif, 6 legs on the Bowie, and the drop point's got this sort of a flowery type kind of motif on the side. All steel, backlock, a nail nick on it, both of them. And again, it's a knife that just is a nice thing to add to a keychain. So there you go. Went over those pretty quickly. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below, especially if you know of other knives that you recommend that you can find under $10. Please, like I asked, put links if you can. That will help me out an awful lot, and I'll activate those links. If you can only afford one knife, and it doesn't have to be very big, I would suggest you get one of these two, either the liner lock Sanrenmu 7010 or the Ganzo with the 440C steel, the 759 F759M, because this is just a really nice option. And if you got more money and you want to spend, maybe you can get 10 knives for under $100 US. Woohoo! There are other good choices out there, but there is an awful lot of terrible knives under $10 out there. So if you want to, you can email me at CanadianCuttingEdge@gmail.com, and I'll write back and let you know what I think of that knife. I read all the comments down below. I don't necessarily have time to respond to all of them, but I respond to at least 95% of the comments. It just sometimes takes a day or two. So that's my little video. Next week is the slip joints. So if you know of some slip joints, you can put that in the comment section below as well, not just liner lock ones. Just put slip joint or liner lock in your comment section so people know what you're talking about, and so I know what you're talking about. Maybe you can help me prepare for that video by suggesting some knives that I could put in there. So most of these I've got reviews I showed you the pictures of, so you can go check out those reviews. Get all the links down in the description below. Just creating that description section for these 15 knives is going to take me a few hours just in itself. So please do take a gander at the description section there so that it was worth my while. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Thank you to everybody who likes, comments, shares, even if you just let the advertisements play on my channel. That helps me out as well. Remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.